Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful, fantabulous, and mystical day. My name's Emmanuel Aguilar, aka Mystic Fox 4, and if you aren't familiar with my work, you can go ahead and check it out on Instagram. It's Mystic Fox 4 on Instagram, or you can check out my YouTube channel, kind of like you are right now. Without further ado, um, on this episode, we're going to be talking about the resources system that I like and that I'm going to integrate into my game. On the last episode, we talked about kinds of card games that I like and what I like about them and how I'm going to integrate them into my own card game. Now, what about my card game is going to be different and how is it going to function? Now, well, before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about history of card games and what I like and what I don't like. So, I remember in the last episode I was talking a little bit about Magic the Gathering and how its mana system was very unique, but it was also very frustrating. Now, I remember playing with friends a lot, and my friends were always frustrated when you get, mana starved. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with Magic, mana starved is basically when you don't pull any land cards in order to tap to play your units. Now, this is a very prominent issue that happens in Magic, and you just run dry and you have nothing to be able to play. And you're just frustrated, and you're standing there like, what the heck, man? Why is it like this? Now, I have never been a fan of that, but I've always enjoyed the game, so that's why I played it. It was always fun, and it always sucked when your friend wasn't able to play his cards because he didn't have any, you know, mana. Now, moving a little bit forward, we were playing Hearthstone, and I really liked how Hearthstone did it. Don't get me wrong, Hearthstone, fantastic job on the mana system. Their mana system, pretty good. Each turn you gain 1 mana, and it's added to a pool, and you can pull from the pool to summon your cards. Great system, without a doubt, right? But then came Legends of Runeterra. And let me tell you something. Legends of Runeterra, great game. Cards are a little broken here and there. It's okay. Game is still enjoyable. It's fun, right? But Legends of Runeterra did something that no other card game has done, at least to my knowledge. And that is, they took the foundation that Hearthstone set of getting mana each turn, and they added a layer of complexity. Now, I remember in my last episode, I was talking a little bit about mana systems in terms of like how in Legends of Runeterra you had different speed spells and you can play them whenever you want. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about that, integrating it into my card game. Now, I did not solely use Legends of Runeterra things. No, right? But what I did do is or at least I'm going to integrate a shared mana pool, kind of like in Digimon, right? So why am I picking Digimon? What motivates me to pick Digimon? Well, let me tell you. So in Digimon, you have what's called a shared mana pool. Now this is a very unique mechanic. But Mystic Fox, why are you talking about shared mana pool? I thought you were talking about Legends of Runeterra. Yes, I'm getting there. Now, what I liked about shared mana pools is that it forces you to think about what cards you're going to play in order to, outdo your enemy. But within the process, it will force you to think about how much resources you're going to give your opponent. Now, why do you think that this would be important? If you're thinking the way I'm thinking, yes, because it forces you to not want to give them resources. So you don't want to play your bigger cards, you want to play the lower cards so that you can, have more units to be able to attack. Now, I really like the notion of HP in Digimon. So I'm going to also use that. Now, the health system in that game was unique because you have 6 what are called security cards. Now, when a player attacks your security, you do a security check, and if your Digimon has lower DP, which I believe are called damage points, then your Digimon is destroyed and it is put into the trash bin, as well as the security card. Now, the security card doesn't go back if it defeated your Digimon. No, it goes into the trash as well. So, and sometimes they would have different effects when they were security cards. Now, I really like that system because it made the game so much easier and because it made the game go a lot faster. Now, Mystic, why would you want your game to be super fast and not be very slow? Because I want to play more games. Anytime that I remember playing Magic the Gathering, it ended up being a game of attrition. And don't get me wrong, I love Magic the Gathering, but I hate games that dragged on. You know, I'm very much a proponent of somebody that likes to play fast, and if you know, if I lose because I played too fast, well, just it's gonna be what it is, you know. I'm a very strongly against slow playing. I think slow playing is probably one of the worst things you can do as a card player. If you play any game and you're being a slow player, just know Mystic Fox is looking out for you. but but you know, I get it. You know, sometimes you need a little bit of time to think and get your things down on the field, whatever, you know. But I find that most of the time I can get more fun by just playing the game than I can just thinking and sitting around thinking about what I'm gonna do next for the next 5 minutes and having this timer go on and it's just play faster, man. But that's the idea. That's the whole point that I wanted to get across is that this forces you to kind of a play the game a little bit faster in terms of like, all right, well, I don't want to play this big unit and I have this small unit, and so I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna attack with this, and I'm gonna have more things on the field to get rid of your security because you only have 7. So earlier I said 6, it's actually 7 because it's 6 security cards, and then you have one that's actually you. So very much kind of like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like it doesn't actually hit you, it hits your health points, basically like that. So like you have a certain amount of health points in this uh, realm. It's going to be security cards, and once they take all of your security cards, they need one final finishing blow, and that's it. That's the game, right? And so because of that, I wanted to have a little bit of that. Now, what am I going to introduce that's unique and different, right? Why is my game going to be special? Well, in um in my game, right? I don't have it here on paper, but I'm going to tell it to you via the computer, the internet. I will utilize it in order to communicate this idea to you. So I really liked that system, right? I liked if you pass 0, it is now your opponent's turn, regardless if you've attacked. If you would like to attack, you have to attack before you do the thing that's going to put you over 0, right? So I'm going to read a little bit here of the thing that I have ready for presentation so you guys can check it out. But it says this resource system revolves on a shared resource pool. Your turn ends when you pass the 0 in the center. Your turn immediately ends even if you haven't attacked. If you did not or could not play anything on your turn, the opponent gains 3 resources automatically, unless a card states otherwise. Now, what does this mean? This little example down here below explains the second part of it, where let's say you got 5 resource, but you couldn't play anything because you didn't have anything in your hand that you can play that will put you over 0, and you literally had one card and it was what got you here, and that's it, right? For whatever reason. Or maybe you just can't play the other cards because they're different levels or whatever, right? So you have 5 resource and your turn ends. It gives your opponent 3 resource. Now, that was the original idea. What I had thought of was introducing Legends of Runeterra mechanics. Now I know what you're thinking. Mystic Fox, how are you going to do that? That doesn't even make any sense. It's easy. So on this right hand side, we're gonna zoom in a little bit, if the thing will let me. Right here on the bottom. Can I zoom in more? Right here on the bottom, it's going to have 3 little dots here at the end. Or maybe I can put them here. It doesn't matter really. Or I could put them up here. Now these are going to be like scavenged resources. Basically in Legends of Runeterra, whenever you would play cards and things like that, you had like, let's say 4 mana, right? And let's say you played something that cost 1 mana, so you were at 3. But then after that, you didn't want to play anything. Now, why didn't you want to play anything? Maybe you wanted to save for something. Maybe you wanted to utilize a combat trick. Remember that thing that I said earlier where it's like you can choose to attack, or you can choose to use a spell card like fast, slow, or burst speed in Legends of Runeterra when you're attacking? Now that's where this mana is going to take play. So, you can choose to not play anything when you have 4 or 5 resource, so that you can set up your turn for the next turn. So you're going to swing, you're going to use one of your abilities that you have in your hand, that's a fast spell or burst spell, whatever. and so, or maybe they're going to attack and you're going to buff your unit and block, right? So that's a fun thing that I wanted to do, and that's how I'm going to introduce Legends of Runeterra type mechanic in my game, which is I'm going to put it in here. Now the other player is still going to get 3 resources regardless, right? Mystic Fox, why would you give them 3 resources regardless? Because if you don't give them resources, the game is going to get stagnant and it's going to basically skip their turn, right? It's not going to do anything in terms of actual gameplay. So I need to keep the game moving. And this is the fastest way that I can think of to keep the game moving. If you guys have any thoughts, make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you guys think on that idea, because I think it's something that I want to do because it's utilizing multiple mechanics from different games. And it's also utilizing some of the fun aspects of planning how you're going to play and being smart about how you're going to do things. So that is the mechanic that I'm introducing. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Mystic Fox, this is such a dumb mechanic. Why would you introduce this into the thing, right? And there's a lot of reasons that I could give around it, but the main reason is Legends of Runeterra has one of the best magic or mana systems around, hands down, right? Like I can think of like maybe a handful of games that have pretty good mechanics in terms of mana management, but I think this is probably one of the most fun and most familiar that I am with it. I know some of my friends have recommended different games and I've checked them out, but honestly, they're kind of um, they don't do it for me. They don't have that combat trick fun part to them. Um, now I'm going to talk a little bit about some out external card mechanics that I will later introduce into the game. Um, just so you guys have an idea of the things that I'm going mechanics and things, um, at least of some of the stuff that I know. So a while back, my cousin had introduced Dragon Ball Z to me. I thought Dragon Ball Z was super cool, because Dragon Ball Z. Who doesn't like Dragon Ball Z? I like guys screaming at the top of their lungs and like powering up and getting long hair. That's cool. But I liked the card game because what my cousin told me recently that I didn't understand at the time because we were playing this when I was very much Unga Bunga. And if you guys don't know, I'm very much an Unga Bunga player. I'm not good at designing cards, but I have a lot of people helping me along the way in order to actually understand what I'm doing. And so basically what that means is I'm the type of player that just kind of tries to hit you in the face as hard and as fast as possible. I like to play very aggressively in terms of card games. I'm very much an aggro deck type of person, which I know a lot of people on the internet are. I don't like to, min-max or anything. I just like playing the game fast. And so, getting back to my point, in Dragon Ball Z, there's this mechanic where I believe it's called Clash. I couldn't be wrong. I played the game for a very smidge of a second, but one of the mechanics that my cousin told me about was that when you're being attacked, you can play a card from your hand and to help defend, but you just had to exceed the number of attack points that the person that's attacking you with your defense points. Now, those cards that you play are destroyed at the end of the turn, so you can't really do anything with that. So what mechanic that I was thinking about um, would be like it would be cards that are part of what's called buddy system, and so basically there's going to be a different series in my card game. Like each season is going to have something new. The buddy system would be like um, the football player team of the high school, and you can play them from your hand. They don't stay on the field, but you can use them to defend creatures that are attacking, right? The idea is fun, it's playful. For the zombie side, you can do the same, but for the zombie side you can do it also for attacking. So if you're going to attack, you can use one of those guys and get an extra attack in, or maybe no, maybe you're going to use it to buff one of your guys so that when you're attacking, right? So it's just a fun mechanic. Now, whenever you buff a unit, I'm thinking you're also going to draw a card at the end of the turn. Not during the turn, obviously, because then you can just use those cards and just literally just keep throwing cards onto the field to keep attacking. But kind of what's stopping you from using a ton of these cards is the fact that you only have like 6 cards in your hand, or 7. There's no hand limit in this game, by the way, because it it's not gonna you're not gonna get a ton of cards usually. Maybe you'll have a couple cards that draw you cards, but ideally you're probably not gonna be having too many cards. Each turn you do draw a card, but it's probably not gonna stack more than like 11 or 12, which is pretty strong. But like honestly, I've never been a fan of having a card size limit in your hand. I do think I should establish one later on when I do play testing, but as of this moment, I don't really find a purpose for it in this game. So, without further ado, that's all I got for you today. I know I cut it short there at the end, but frankly, I have a couple of things else to talk about, but I don't really want to get into those too long because I don't want this video to be too long. I know, you guys got other things to do. But again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and watching this video. It means a lot to me. If you guys liked the video, make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below what you thought about the system that I'm introducing in my card game. Would you use the Legends of Runeterra extra mana system where you get to 3 extra free mana that you can use any turn? Or would you opt something else? Maybe all the mana that you don't use gets stored. That's a crazy one. I don't know how that would pan out, but maybe it's only for spells. In Legends of Runeterra, it's only for spell cards, so you can't use it to summon creatures unless the creature's unique and you can do that, but there's none in the game at the current moment. Now, I like this system. I like the idea around it. I think it's pretty cool, and so it's just fun. Maybe all of the spell cards in this game wouldn't be over 3. That's interesting, because then you can only use those during your opponent's turn. You can only use that 3 spell. Anyways, guys, like I said, like the video, smash the like button, comment down below, thoughts, comments, critiques. As always, guys, don't forget to stay mystical.